Welcome to Toni Unleashed, the podcast where we unleash the truth about all things pets.
Our research and anecdotal evidence matched with pet expert interviews will help you help your pet thrive.
We are here to answer questions, divulge information, and spread awareness about what's really going on in the world of pets.
I am your co-host, Emily Taylor, pet nutrition enthusiast.
And I'm Toni Shalasky, owner of Healthy Pet Products with 3 locations in the Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania area, and recently expanded to Port Charlotte, Florida.
Welcome to the show.
Welcome back to another episode of Toni Unleashed, the podcast. And today, Em and I are going to have one of our random shows, which means it's a little bit of this and a little bit of that. Today, I have old customers that have reached out to me for some advice. So we're going to talk about them. And we're also going to talk about my dog DeSoto because I have been having some challenges with him. He's actually having some allergies. So those are the 2 topics we're going to go over today on our random show. And I have, I'll start with, I don't think they're going to mind me using their first names, Debbie and Lauren. Deb and Lauren have been customers of mine for many, many, many years. Honestly, probably since day one, which is almost 15 years ago. And unfortunately, they moved to Arizona a couple of years ago, and they no longer are customers here in Pittsburgh. But they reached out and with a lovely email and how's Pittsburgh and your stores? Hope all is well and you're doing a good business. Now that we're in some overly hot summer days here in Arizona, we are all getting less exercise. And Rollo has grown to a not so healthy 87.5 pounds. Our vet is recommending Royal Canin Satiety, and I'm going to spell that Satiety, or Hill Science Diet Metabolic. Both are prescription foods. We are curious what you recommend for our boy without going to raw food. So our loyal listeners, you all know, you can obviously tell that Deb and Lauren know me very well and know that I'm going to recommend raw food, which I think is hysterical. I got a good chuckle out of that.
And I think it's great, though. I mean, I think it's okay to just be like,
sure,
you know, I don't want to do raw food.
Yep. And like we always say, no judgment. We get it. So I sent them a list of recommended kibbles that I would think they could easily find. So there were a couple from From, a couple from Nutrisource. Petcurian has a nice senior formula, and all of these calorie contents are like 350 calories per cup-ish. I got them that info, and they replied, well, we went to, and I'm not going to mention the store name, but it's a locally owned pet food store where they live, and they went there and got the lecture about raw food. So we are converting is exactly their words. And the store sells 3 or 4 different brands. We are trying OC Raw, hoping it brings the weight back in line. It will probably make them feel and act a lot younger than 8 and 9 years old, which they both are because they have 2 dogs. And they also said, careful what we wish for. So I told them to keep me posted. This is honestly like 2 weeks ago that they started all this. I told them they absolutely would not regret it. And let's talk about if they took their vet's advice, went to the Royal Canin. So, what were the ingredients?
I think first and foremost, it's important to note at this very specific moment that unlike humans, dogs burn fat before they burn carbohydrates.
Right. Don't we wish we burnt fat first?
Yes. The ingredients for the Royal Canin one is powdered cellulose,
sawdust,
chicken byproduct meal, corn, wheat gluten, wheat,
allergen,
inflammatory, undigestible, corn gluten meal,
nice,
natural flavors,
chemicals,
dried plain beet pulp, chicken fat, which is probably the first best thing we've seen on here.
Yes.
Fish oil, pea fiber, potassium chloride, vegetable oil, calcium carbonate.
Vegetable oil?
Mm-hmm. And then it just goes into synthetic vitamins, minerals, and preservatives.
Well, that just triggers so many free radicals.
Yeah. But here, I do want to say they're saying how it works is excess weight can severely impact your dog's overall health and quality of life. So they do want you to know that. And because it is science-based health nutrition, these specific blends of natural fibers are going to help contribute to weight loss.
Yeah.
It is rich in essential nutrients to ensure nutrient requirements are met during weight loss. Mm-hmm. I didn't see anything have much nutritional value in there other than fish oil.
Chicken fat.
And chicken fat. Well, but also that's like shitty chicken fat probably.
True. And chicken byproduct meal is
other than a ton of synthetic vitamins and minerals.
And they truly are surviving on synthetic vitamins and minerals.
Right. And then it's 30% less fat than size health nutrition with restricted calorie content. So
anyone using these foods, if you have a severely obese dog and you really need veterinary guidance during a weight loss program and they're recommending these, just don't think of them as long-term foods and
I think there you go. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, no one wants to be when you think about dieting for human, the best diets are going to be lifestyle changes.
Absolutely.
And cleaner eating and healthier eating.
Otherwise, you just put the weight back on.
Right. Any of these like crash course diets are not going to be a great long-term solution for humans. And it's not going to be a great long-term solution for dogs either. I mean, I think, sure, maybe they have their place, if your dog is severely overweight and needs, knee surgery or hip surgery or ACL or hip and joint, maybe like really doing a crash diet to help improve their mobility so that we can change their lifestyle and have it be a more active, healthy lifestyle. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, but
long term, we want to do a lifestyle change.
For sure.
Just like humans too.
Yep.
So you asked about calories, and they are 214 kilocalories per cup.
Wow. That's the lowest I have ever heard in my entire life.
And then let's also note that when we have a lot of corn, we have corn and we have corn gluten meal and we have wheat, that's going to be a sugar spike.
Yeah.
So it's going to seem like they have energy to run around, but then they're going to crash.
Yeah. So let's compare it to the Hills Metabolic.
So the Hills Metabolic, the ingredients are whole grain wheat. That's the first ingredient. Whole grain corn. Chicken meal. So that's a little bit better.
It is.
Then powdered cellulose.
Okay.
Soybean meal. Corn gluten meal. Dried beet pulp. Dried tomato pumice. Hydrolyzed chicken flavor. Which I know what a hydrolyzed chicken is.
How do you hydrolyze chicken flavor?
I'm not really sure what that means. Chicken fat. Flaxseed, coconut oil, lactic acid, and then your synthetic vitamins and minerals and preservatives.
And what's the calories on that one?
The calories?
That's a really interesting ingredient panel because they added fat.
Calories on this one are 257 cups.
Okay.
Calories per cup.
So, and say a Royal Canin was 215?
214.
Whew.
Yep.
You'd be starving a dog on those.
Yeah. And they're just going to they're just going to have a sugar spike and go crazy.
I remember when I was pet sitting, I had a customer that fed, I think it was metabolic. This is going way back. And I remember how much muscle wasting she had. And she had a terrible dry coat. And she just just didn't look good.
Really?
She just didn't look good.
Yeah.
And that's because she was being starved of vital nutrients.
Yeah.
So again, we know it's hard, but there are ways, and we're here to offer advice and give you some ideas.
Yeah, I mean, I think putting a dog on a food like this, I mean, I don't know. I am not a vet. I have not done this. I do not have experience, but I can only imagine that if a dog was on this food for long term, they're going to have nutrition deficiencies.
Absolutely.
And they're going to have flaky skin. They're going to have muscle atrophy, like you said.
Allergies, probably.
Allergies. It's going to deplete their immune system.
Yeah.
You know,
sure.
because it's not giving them what they need in a in a healthy way.
Right.
And, you know, I also want to note here, we can do a whole other episode about it, but synthetics, vitamins and minerals can be really hard on the kidney.
Yeah.
And really hard for the body to absorb. So just because there is a sufficient amount of synthetic vitamins and minerals doesn't mean your dog's absorbing them and filtering them through properly.
And they all come from China.
Yeah.
And I have to tell you guys, my dog is sick. So DeSoto, who our regular listeners know, is always like getting himself twisted up in the cords and is always up our ass and is always hates when we laugh and usually is in Em's lap. He is laying here on the couch next to me, sleeping. Every once in a while he gets up and readjusts himself because he's very uncomfortable. This is the first time he's been in a circle, so that's probably a good sign. But he's definitely sick. He threw up this morning, all of his breakfast, and then I did not give him anything else other than water. I didn't want him to eat. I wanted his belly to rest, which is very hard for humans to do. We over feed when our dogs are sick. So I didn't give him anything, and pet sitter came and checked on him about 12. So he was only alone about 3 or 4 hours. And then I was home 3 or 4 hours after that. He had vomited bile several times in my bedroom. But he's drinking water. He did keep his dinner down. But he's lethargic. He is not himself. I did give him, and I only gave him about half the amount of his normal dinner. I gave him some bone broth in a bowl, and he lapped that up very well. I'm going to give him some more now as soon as we sign off, and then probably one more time before we go to bed. That's how I'm handling it. If he has not improved in the morning, I am going to call my vet and get him in tomorrow. So just a little tidbit about DeSoto.
Yeah.
That I think we should keep in.
Yeah. Circle back, do an episode about.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think so. I think because if anything we've learned from season 1, that like transparency, honesty, realness is really beneficial, and that just because we have a podcast about pet wellness doesn't mean our dogs don't get sick.
Right.
And
but this is the first time in 7 years DeSoto's been sick.
Yeah.
That's why Em and I are both like, huh.
Yeah.
And I can't think of anything he got into at all.
We've checked his gum color is good.
Mm-hmm.
Did you check his temp?
No.
He doesn't feel hot or anything. He doesn't have any physical pain. You can put pressure on his whole body and he feels okay.
Yeah. Yeah. He's not shaking. He's not panting. He's not salivating.
He hasn't lost his appetite completely.
I think he's uncomfortable.
Yeah. Yeah.
And his breath reeks like hell.
Which is gut issues.
Definite gut issues. I mean, that's got to be the core of it.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I mean, it's possible he did swallow about a 2-inch-ish maybe piece of bully stick yesterday. He's done that before with no issues. Maybe it's his body trying to digest that. I don't know. But even more reason to have one of those bully buddies. What are they called? Bully buddy? Busy? No. It's the blue thing that holds the bully stick in it.
Maybe it is a bully buddy.
Bully buddy.
Yeah.
They're worth their weight in gold. They're worth their weight in gold? Yeah. Money, because they're expensive. They're like between 20, depending on the size, they're between $20 and $40. Mm-hmm. But when your dog swallows something they shouldn't swallow, And you end up at the vet that you're spending thousands.
Mm-hmm. But ballistics are digestible.
They are. So he'll digest it if that's the problem.
Right.
It's just not typical. So I don't know what the hell's going on, but
Stay tuned.
stay tuned.
Yes. And we want to hear more from our listeners.
Definitely.
I think that'll be huge.
I mean, we have a lot of followers now, though, don't we?
We have a lot of downloads.
We have a lot of downloads.
Mm-hmm.
Tens of thousands.
Yes. At least 10,000.
At least 10,000.
Yes. So the more we hear from them and what people want to keep listening to, the better.
Yeah.
I mean, we really do want to hear what everyone wants to listen to. What is going on in their dog's life? We're pulling in as many fun and cool interviews as possible to keep things fresh and new and educational. So whatever you guys want to hear, we're here for it.
Yep.
I feel like if DeSoto wasn't as sick, we'd be a little bit more hyped, but we are worried about DeSoto for sure.
But we'll keep you tuned in, maybe even on social media. We could.
Yeah.
And a shout out to, as usual, but Beacon Sound Systems. Thank you for fantastic sound engineer, Brad, and that's all for now. Right?
Yep, that's all.
Talk soon. Bye.
Bye-bye.
We want to give a big shout out to our sound engineer, Brad, from Beacon Sound Systems, LLC. This is the highest quality sound editing, and he knows exactly what to edit. So it's his fault the F-bombs are still in there. You can reach Brad for all your sound editing needs through
Instagram and Facebook. You'll follow at Beacon Sound Systems. Website, www.4beaconsound.com. Phone number, 724-471-2410.
Beacon Sound is a locally owned company in our neck of the woods here in Pittsburgh, PA. So if you're in need of large LED screens, stages, lighting, or sound systems for any occasion, big or small, this is the company for you.
Sounds like a party in one.
And boy, do we need one.
Yes.